So, a very good morning to one and all present here. My name is Tanaz Jainwal, and on behalf of the Gain Skills Business Media, presenting partner SAP, gold partner Icertis, Signet One, silver partner Contisoft Technologies, Next Time, PowerWeave, exhibit partners Iris GST and SAP Signavio. We welcome everyone to the 6th Procure Connect Conflicts and Awards 2025. Could I have a big round of applause, please? Thank you. Amazing. So this event serves as a platform for collaboration, knowledge sharing, and discussions on the evolving role of procurement leaders in today's dynamic and challenging business environment. Procurement professionals are no longer just cost controllers, they are strategic enablers of innovation, resilience, and sustainability, helping organizations drive value and achieve long-term success. Our agenda today brings together thought leaders and industry experts from diverse sectors, all with a shared purpose to exchange insights, share achievements, and tackle the complex challenges procurement leaders face in this new era of volatility and opportunity. With this note, let me introduce you to our chairman, who I would like to invite on stage to give us an opening remark. Mr. Samrat Patnaik, Head of Enterprise, Business, Finance and Spend, SAP. With over 25 years of leadership experience in enterprise technology, Samrat Patnaik currently leads SAP's Finance and Spend Management portfolio for the Indian subcontinent. In this strategic role, he is responsible for driving growth, shaping go-to-market strategies, and ensuring measurable customer success across enterprise accounts. Mr. Samrat plays a critical role in aligning SAP's finance and spend solutions with the company's AI-first and suite-first strategy. His efforts help organizations unlock the full potential of intelligent, integrated, and sustainable business operations. Could I please have you on stage, Mr. Samrat? And could I have a big round of applause for him? Thank you.
Thank you. It's working? Yeah, great. Good morning. So first of all, thank you so very much. I'd like to welcome you to this event. Thank you for being so early in the morning. I mean, this is so typical to Mumbai. I really am impressed again and again by Mumbai. If had it been somewhere else, probably, when I walked in at 8:30, I saw many of you are here, which is kind of great to see. So before I start, I would like to thank you, I would like to thank the organizers, the partners, and you, the leaders, practitioners, and change makers, to be here today. Okay, so welcome to the Procure Connect 2025. Now, the theme this year, the theme this year is future-ready procurement. Now, this is the overarching theme. Now, today, with whatever is happening around us all over the world, whether it is geopolitical disturbances, as we are talking, there are probably 50 places where there is some kind of war, whether it is between countries, whether it is civil war, it is happening. And there are tariffs, there is so much of volatility, inflation, etc. Now, this future-ready procurement cannot be more timely than today. We all need to address those areas and wade through those challenges to bring in the excellence to the procurement function we are leading. And now the three areas we are talking about here today, innovation, efficiency, and sustainability. Now put together, this is not just a statement for this event. This is actually vision. I'm sure all of you would agree. When you get into your day-to-day jobs in the procurement, as procurement practitioners and leaders, this is the vision we ultimately reach try to reach, try to achieve. Now, why these three areas? Innovation, efficiency, and sustainability. It's not a random thought process. We know all of us face it on day to day. Of course, yeah. This is a survey I would like to take you through. This is a survey done towards end of the last year by Gartner. Now, if you see the top three priorities for all procurement practitioners who were surveyed in this, who responded to this survey, is strategic sourcing, procurement talent and skill development, and identifying and mitigating supplier risk. There are other areas which I would skip, but if I put them into the cluster, as happens in any survey, the first one which comes in is the efficiency, because the efficiency, and all of you know that that's where the 5% improvement in the efficiency kind of directly improves the companies or the organization we work for, their bottom line by 2 to 3%. So that's an area where kind of we all are focused on. We all have our numbers there. Now, so I'll share a short anecdote. I have two sons. They both are in colleges, and one of them is in Delhi, and one of them studies in Manipal. Last week, we were having a discussion who is going to settle where. It's just a family discussion. So one of them wants to stay in Delhi. The other one says, no, we can't stay in Delhi because there is so much pollution. And by the time we will start working, will it be livable? And the point is, when you're talking about sustainability, many of us think about, kind of, it's the compliance story. There is some guideline from government we have to follow. But it's not that. We, as practitioners, are the leaders, are answerable to our next generation, how we live this world more, kind of livable for them, right? Today it is only cities, and I was reading another news. In Everest Base Camp, there are now, they can find snakes. Snakes are moving there. You must have read it, which is not common. It's because of the temperature and all of, the global warming. It is happening, and sustainability is playing there. So we have to put in the conscious effort to make sustainability a practice rather than a compliance story. And of course, innovation, we all are talking about AI, generative AI, agentic AI, blockchain, and so on and so forth. There is so much innovation happening, probably the fastest in the last so many years. Now, if you look at it, somebody who looked at year 1000 and year 1500, there is not much change. But 1500 to 2000 or after 2000, there's so much change every day happening. One day probably is equal to those 100 years, the change which is happening. And that's where we need to adapt to the innovations which are coming in so fast, to be in this thing. So 3 pillars. This theme today is innovation, efficiency, and sustainability. Let's quickly, dip into this. How do we drive the innovation? Now, innovation is not only bringing in the, kind of advanced tools, etc. Tools can only help us. But how do we use these tools in a predictive manner, kind of to address the economic volatility which is there? And how could we probably change the, not probably, definitely use AI with analytics to address that economic volatility which is there today and which is upcoming. How do we anticipate? It's like, Sachin Tendulkar is a great batsman because he could anticipate how the ball is going to come from the, fingers of the bowler, and that's what we need. And a lot of places, probably pre-COVID primarily, I would say, procurement is always treated as a transactional operation, back office operation. But post-COVID and today as well, procurement has evolved into a strategic operation which is contributing the company's bottom line, right? And we have to cope up, we have to contribute and be more strategic to address that. Of course, as the tools we have today, AI, blockchain, and data, real-time data. Next, efficiency. Of course, this is pretty simple. We have all cost pressure. We always have a target of, kind of reduce the cost. But negotiation has an end, right? It can't get us lowering the cost forever. So that's where, how do we bring in efficiency within the team, within the operation? How do we think about, changing our procurement strategy so that that efficiency brings in the, the cost lower with the softer areas, which today we are probably missing out. And of course, analytics, where we are spending, how we are spending, what should change, that's where we need the visibility, and the spend analytics as a strategic tool plays a role today. And strategic sourcing is a no-brainer. So, and of course, we spoke about sustainability. Now, if you see, everyone talks about sustainability, carbon footprint, it comes from supply chain. But we must realize we are at the core of that. We have a lot of power to control it, right? Like whether it is ESG, whether it is ethical labor, whether it is scope 3 emission, which comes from our suppliers. That's where we have the control. How we procure, where from we procure, how consciously we procure is going to change the carbon footprint for our organization, from our suppliers, and how we contribute to the society as a whole. For example, Microsoft has this mandate. All suppliers has to declare their carbon footprint and give a plan to reduce that so that by 2030 they become carbon negative. So how do we practice that? How do we track that? So that's where the sustainability picture as a ethical practice, as a kind of what do you call our duty to our next generation, we should be focusing on. Now, so these are all part of our vision, but how do we achieve that? It's overwhelming when we think about so much thing, and while I have to make sure everything is available, I have to think all these things. Now, this is where, kind of SAP's, as we call it, flywheel effect, flywheel effect from physics, comes into picture. Now, you have applications. Okay, we are proud that SAP touches 60% of India's GDP. But irrespective of that, some of you may not be using SAP application, but independent, agnostic of application, you have application which creates data, and you need data as single source of truth. And AI working on that data is giving you the insight, and with generative AI from your business data, from agentic AI's agents, take action so that you become free from the mundane tasks, mundane activities. And it's a cyclical effect. Your AI is as strong, as intelligent as your data is. And your data is generated and collected from your applications. So agnostic of applications, this flywheel of SAP, data, applications, and AI. Of course, procurement, a collaborative function, SAP Business Network, that's where it comes, how you interact with each step with your suppliers. So my colleague, Pankaj would be elaborating on this. I just touched upon, kind of the story we have, the flywheel effect. The business suite, SAP business processes covering end-to-end procurement, and so on others as well, plus the embedded analytics and AI, agentic AI as well. Now, as part of this discussion, this event, I have this call to action today as well as when you do your work. Be bold in the innovation. Let's not stick to how we are doing. I have seen many of my customers talking that we do this differently. No, there are ways where we can change. How do we bring in that change? So let's be bold in that. Intelligent, efficient systems, which talks to each other, which has a holistic picture to tell you instead of specific sourcing area or invoicing area. Sustainability, of course, tracking and making sure our suppliers, our scope 3 emission, ethical labels, and putting together all this story, we create procurement as a value engine, which we already are, but how do we elevate the process? So with that, as we progress in this wonderful event toward the sessions, toward the hours, I would urge all of you to share your story with each other, to learn from each other, so that we can make our practice, procurement practice, as a better one, right? And thank you once again. Thank you everyone to be here. And let's make this event a turning point on how we run our business. Thank you.
Mr. Samrat, I request you to wait back. And I would like to call on stage Mr. Subhash Ranjan De to felicitate Mr. Samrat.